how's it going? So sorry for the late video today. We were at Monster Truck Rally all day, if you could tell by my lobster-like skin, so a little burnt up from being in the sun all day, but overall we are doing pretty good. So over on the total, we are breaking away from our symmetrical triangle down to the downside. That is very concerning, because if we continue lower from here, we could end up seeing that breakdown that we warned of for both this symmetrical triangle and that bear flag. Remember, this bear flag is created when you have a zone of consolidation. If I can get the right line to stretch, there we go. And that does bring you lower. Both of these can bring us just shy of that golden pocket area, just above our Fibonacci retracement zone. So if we do end up breaking down and continuing lower from here, we did break out of the triangle, but we don't have a confirmation. So watch for the next candle. This candle's still open. It does still have a chance to pull back to our pattern and push forward, but I would exercise caution because we do have a manipulation X here, that red X, that does show it wants to pull us back. Remember, that is on our market cipher A. We're also using market cipher B below. Those are the free versions in TradingView, which is free, just like this info. So smash like, hit the subscribe, and tune in. Watch our Mastering the Trade series as well, as I'll get you set up. But we do have our RSI currently in the overbought area, with our stochastic, our double line, pushing down. So as this double line is more in the bearish territory below 30, then we can see further sell-off. So I would exercise caution, because if that stochastic does remain bearish here, RSI will start to pull back, and as that relative strength index does show that price action is either overbought or oversold, it can bring price action lower, coming down from the overbought range. Our VWAP, our yellow wave, is currently in the bearish territory. We are trying to push forward with our momentum weakening. So if that VWAP does remain in this bearish territory, momentum will continue lower, and we could see that break down. We are at the bottom of our channel. We did make a bounce, and we are trying to pull into that triangle. So again, watch if we do confirm a breakdown with this candle and the next, then we may start to drop lower. However, if we do push and make a bounce off our flag, we could still try to invalidate it and fill that gap. Otherwise, if we do end up seeing that breakdown, we would fill that gap at a later date, possibly getting a bounce off this golden pocket top and then pushing up to that gapped area. So to recap, for those of you who just joined, we are trying to break out of our symmetrical triangle. If we confirm tomorrow's candle like this, watch for another red candle that would give us confirmation of a breakdown, and then we could continue lower to our golden pocket. So we will jump onto the 4-hour real quick. If our indicators want to show up here, there we go. Stochastic is pulling back. We do have that orange line above blue, so we do have that bearish cross that is bringing the stochastic lower. As that stochastic pulls back, now, RSI could end up pulling back as well, and when that RSI pulls back, it does bring price action with it. If you look here on the 4-hour, we did try to break out twice with our candles. This current candle is trying to break down as well, but we are trying to bounce. So if we can stay in this pattern, we do still have that chance to bounce up. Our VWAP is trying to head forward, that yellow wave. If that yellow wave can continue forward, then our momentum likely could continue forward as well and help push us up. However, if this VWAP remains in this bearish territory, we will see that the money flow start to round away, and that will bring price action lower, as that will show we have more selling pressure brewing than buying pressure. Over on the 2-hour, stochastic is starting to push down. We do have that blue above orange, so we do have a bullish cross technically, but we are starting to round away. So if that blue continues lower, we likely will see that RSI push down and bring price action lower, possibly snapping out of this triangle and starting that breakdown. Our VWAP does have consistent lows, and we are trying to reject for a lower high. So watch the next couple candles here very close. If we get rejection with this VWAP, we could see the bears gain that control, and then that's where we would see the bearish breakdown. We did reject holding our 300 EMA, so if you pay attention, that is a critical area to hold above, because that's a very strong area of support and resistance. So us going above it and then snapping down below it could be a little cautionary. We did break out of this rising channel, so we will get rid of that little bit right there. That way we only have 2 patterns to look at, not 3, so watch very close. That money flow is starting to weaken. It did make a bounce off that neutral, so if that VWAP can push higher and break for a higher high, we could see momentum push up and the money flow may try to recover. But right now it's looking like we could start to gain some bearish strength. Over on our 1 hour here, we are pushing down to the bottom of our triangle. We are trying to break it. The fourth time we tried to break it, we did break it with this candle. That was a long lower shadow candle, which shows the bulls are trying to push up and bears are getting exhausted. So there could be a little bit of exhaustion to the downside here. Our RSI is pulling back. Our stochastic is starting to round away. Trading view seems to be a little laggy today, but our stochastic is starting to round away. We do have that blue crossing under that orange. If that blue does stay below that orange line, then RSI will continue lower. That view up does have a lower high with consistent lows, so we are creating a bearish trend. This bearish trend could end up breaking us down, causing that momentum to favor bearish and bring price action and money flow lower with them. Again, if you want anything beyond algo covered, like if you want to see Ethereum or something, let us know. Our internet's being very buggy today, so bear with me here. Over on the Bitcoin dominance here, we zoom out, get our fixed range volume profile. If you'll zoom in. Apparently it does not want to show us our fixed range volume profile. We might be a little stretched out, so that means we are going to have to draw a new one. Hey Jason, how's it going? Yeah, we've been doing live for a few days, so hopefully you're enjoying the live content. Like I said, let me know anything that you want to see down in the comments. Well, now we got our volume profile here, so we have both of them. That's why we have multiple lines. I do have a bigger range one and a smaller range one. The bigger range one is from this break here. The smaller range one is from this run up here. So the shorter lines are from the smaller, but you still have the same point of control, very similar value area highs, and slightly different value area lows. So if you're not used to those, visit our Mastering the Trade. We're covering that a little more slowly there. Over on the daily though, we are starting to make a bounce. This could be positive. We did make a run up from our descending channel, so we will delete that, and we are trying to continue forward. If we can keep with these green candles, we could continue to run up. Our stochastic does want to run up. Also, for those of you who just seen that we're going live, we have been going live about an hour earlier than the recorded videos have been coming out due to not needing to process the video. But our view up is in the bullish territory. We are trying to make a bounce off that neutral, and we are trying to continue forward. Our momentum does want to gain strength due to that view up trying to push forward. So if our view up can maintain this bullish push, we will see that momentum continue forward. Then our money flow could bounce and give dominance a push up. That would be right to that value area high, remember. So over on the 4 hour here, yeah, we're being a little laggy tonight, so internet's not doing too well tonight. We can just jump to the futures instead of doing all the breakdown on dominance, because dominance really doesn't make much of a difference on the lower time frames. Remember, dominance can slip while Bitcoin goes up if the total goes up higher than Bitcoin. But over on futures, this is more important. We are above that point control. This could be positive. If we don't break this point control, we do still have that potential to run up, which gives us our break around that 76.5. So we do still have that potential to see a new high. Our stochastic is pushing down, RSI is weakening, but that stochastic does want to round, and the blue line does want to cross that orange line. If we can see that cross, RSI could continue up, and price action could make that break of 69K. Our view up is trying to favor bearish right now, so that's what you want to watch. Watch those lower time frames. If they favor more bearish, this could deepen. However, if they start to break more bullish, then we could see our view up push up, and this money flow could start to reverse. Over on the 4 hour here, we do have a gap to the downside again, so I would exercise caution. This could create a kind of potential where we snap down, hit the bottom of our flag, and then our symmetrical triangle, and then hopefully make that bounce forward. If we cannot get that bounce forward after coming down, then we could see the bears gain control, and we could see that 65.5. Our view up is favoring bearish. We have lower lows with lower highs, and that momentum is pushing into the bearish territory as a result. Our money flow is also bearish. My neck is on fire, but that money flow does want to pull back. Stochastic is dropping down, and that RSI is weakening, so I would watch very close. Right now, the 4 hour is not very positive, and the 1 and 2 hour, if they don't gain some strength, could end up pulling us back. So this 2 hour, we do still have that little bit of a gap. It's not quite as big of a gap, so there could be a chance that we do leave that gap behind. Remember, gaps are only 80% likely to fill. While that's a very high probability, there's still the chance that it doesn't happen, just like any other pattern. Our stochastic is trying to run up. We do have our blue above orange, and that is pushing us forward, so if that can maintain above our 30, then RSI could continue forward, and price action could make it run up. That VWAP does have a higher high, so if we can get higher highs with higher lows here, then momentum could push forward, money flow could break forward, and we could see that run up, push into our 69K. However, if that VWAP breaks here and then we start to favor bearish again, we will see a breakdown and we will see that 65.5. Over on our 1 hour, kind of glitching out here again, so bear with us. Here, we'll just jump to the Bitcoin itself because that 1 hour really isn't going to make much of a difference. Just like the 2 hour, watch it, that VWAP favors more bearish. If it does, we could end up breaking down. Right now, it seems like we have a lot of network traffic, so our markets are not loading very well. Let me close out some of this. No data, so that's not good. There we go. So close that out. Maybe that'll help with the data lag there, but now I'm not really going to be able to see chat as well. I have a little box here now. But over on Bitcoin for the daily, we are in a flag here. We did call this flag out in our Discord, so if you're not a member of that Discord, visit that link down below or ask for one in the comments and we can drop a link after this video. But this bear flag, if we continue to consolidate here, could bring us lower. RSI does want to push away, momentum is weakening, our VWAP is favoring bearish, causing momentum to push down. If that VWAP continues to favor bearish here, our money flow could start to reject and we could see price action break away. Remember, futures does lead Bitcoin, so if futures starts to break, Bitcoin's likely going to do the same. Now on the 4 hour, we are above our EMAs. We are trying to continue up, so this could be positive. We did have a bit of a rounding top. That rounding top did want to break us down, but the bulls are starting to gain control, so this could be very positive. Our stochastic is starting to round away. We do have our orange above that blue, so that is a bearish cross. So I would exercise caution. If we're not careful, that could end up breaking us lower, but currently our VWAP is attempting to cross through that neutral. If our VWAP can break through that neutral, then we could see momentum bounce and we could gain some strength here. So we will jump to graph. We'll just hop on the daily and the 4 hour. Actually, we do seem to be a little less laggy, so we can jump to the 2 hour. Yeah, we're a little less laggy now, so that is positive. So we do have a manipulation X here that did want to break us down, but now we have a long lower shadow after that. That long lower shadow does want to try to push us up. Our stochastic is starting to push down, but it's trying to curl. If that stochastic can solidify a bounce here, we could see RSI remain bullish, and that could help push us up. Our VWAP does want to cross through that neutral. Our lows aren't very strong compared to our highs, so we do have a little bit more bullish favor. As we have that bullish favor, momentum could push up and our money flow could gain some strength here. Over on the 1 hour, we are consolidating after getting a little bit of a push down, so this would be where you want to kind of exercise caution. If we end up breaking away from here and breaking the support level of our bear flag, we could end up breaking down. However, if we hold above our black 300 EMA, then we could continue forward, run up, and try to invalidate our flag. Stochastic is pulling back, RSI is pulling back as well. Our VWAP is in the bearish territory, but we have a higher low. If we can make a higher high, we could create a bullish trend that could push momentum and money flow further up, and that could give the lower time frames some strength and help solidify the higher time frames as well. So over on graph, yeah, we seem to be past all that lagginess now. So over on graph, we did try to break up, but now we are rejecting. So that's why I say watch for confirmation, because this could end up breaking us away, and we could invalidate our descending channel and see continued losses toward that purple EMA at max. Our RSI is pulling back, stochastic's pretty beat down, the VWAP is favoring bearish, momentum is breaking down, and the money flow does want to pull back. So overall, the bears do have a bit of control here, and they could end up breaking us lower if those lower time frames do not gain some bullish strength. Over on our 4 hour, you can see we tried to hit that EMA, then we rejected that EMA, and we are rounding away. That is a bearish cross, and that is a rejection of a critical resistance area. Our stochastic is pulling back. VWAP has lower lows with lower highs, so we have multiple bearish flags here that could end up taking us lower. So exercise caution if we don't meet support around that 27.5. Our VWAP is favoring bearish, pulling that money flow back and pushing momentum deeper into the bearish territory. So watch the 1 and 2 hour close. If they don't break forward, we could end up snapping away. Our stochastic is overall pushing down. VWAP does want to round away, so watch that VWAP close here. If that VWAP does round away just below our neutral, we will have a lower high with consistent lows, which will bring momentum lower, weakening money flow and breaking price action down, which could invalidate our long lower shadow candle. Sorry about that. Got dirt all in my hair from the monster truck show. But over on the 1 hour, RSI is pulling back, stochastic is dropping down. Our VWAP is starting to reject that neutral, so I would watch. If we solidify this rejection, we could end up seeing the bears gain control and pushing us lower. Our momentum is in the bearish territory. We do have a red dot as that VWAP does want to break down. So again, I would exercise caution. That could end up pushing us lower. Stochastic is overall weakening and the RSI is pulling back. So over on Ankr for the daily, looks like that's actually a little better for the video. It seems like it's actually on par with what I'm saying and not lagging behind now. But over on Ankr for the daily, we are trying to make a bounce and a retest. If we can solidify a bounce forward, we could see the bulls gain some strength. However, this retest does put us in jeopardy of still seeing that bear flag push us down to around that 40.49. Now our RSI does want to pull back, so stochastic does want to round away after getting a bullish cross, so I would exercise caution. If that stochastic does round away, then the RSI could pull back. VWAP does want to pull back as well after favoring the bearish territory, so if we get another rejection here, we could maintain in the bearish territory, and that would give us the strength to continue that breakdown. Our momentum is overall weakening due to that VWAP trying to pull back, so I would watch the lower time frames very close here. Over on the 4 hour, you can see we did try to make a retest, and now we have broken back into our pattern. That does give us a higher chance to see this pattern play out and bring us lower. Our stochastic is starting to round away. We do have that orange above blue. RSI is pulling back. Momentum is rounding away with a red dot, and the VWAP wants to break down. So if that stochastic and VWAP continue lower, the RSI and momentum could end up bringing price action lower and weakening that money flow, pushing us into a bearish trend and weakening the daily. Over on the 2 hour, we do have a potential for a double top, where you get that, we'll use the path tool, so a rise, a drop, a rise, a drop, that's your double top. Then you go from your neckline to your head, and that gives you your break right around there. Oops, sorry about that. If I can get the thing to quit going where I don't want it, there we go. So then you would apply this from your neckline down, and that would put us just below our flag. And if we cannot gain bullish momentum there, we could see that flag continue to break us down. Momentum does want to round away, stochastic's pulling back, and the RSI is weakening, bringing price action lower. We do have a gap above us, so if we can get a green candle after this red candle, we could still push forward and gain strength. However, if we see a strong red candle next, we may see that double top break us down. Our VWAP is in the bearish territory. We do have a lower high with consistent lows, which is causing momentum and money flow to weaken. So if that VWAP does not break up and gain above that neutral, then we could see the bears gain control and start to weaken those higher time frames. Over on the 1 hour here, we do have a little bit of a green candle, but we have a manipulation X on it, so this could show that we may reject away after this. Our momentum is pushing down with lower highs, stochastic is pushing down, RSI does want to weaken, our VWAP does have higher lows, but we also have lower highs. So we're a little indecisive. We want to go bearish, but now we're trying to push up. If that VWAP can solidify some strength, then we may see momentum push up and money flow could remain bullish. Again, I wouldn't watch the next couple of candles. If the next couple of candles end up red, we could end up on the downside of this channel. So for those of you who are here for our XRP, we did try to break forward and we got rejected. So we are staying in this channel. I would exercise caution. We do have a long lower shadow candle. Sorry about that. We do have this long lower shadow candle that does want to show that the bears tried to push us down, but the bulls are trying to gain control. So if we can push above this channel and hold and break that value area low, then we could continue higher. RSI is pulling back, stochastic is overall weakening. Our VWAP is currently in the bearish territory, causing momentum to pull back, and due to the momentum favoring bearish, our money flow does want to pull back as well. Over on the 4 hour here, we are overall breaking down. We did try to get that break up and we got rejected. So if you were watching for that, that would have been your clue to kind of sell off if you're trying to buy for a price action up and kind of mitigate any losses. Remember, you want to have alerts and have things in place. That way, if you saw this, you could have gone out before you ended up down here. But our RSI does want to push up, stochastic does want to push up with us, momentum does want to gain strength, and that VWAP, our yellow wave, does have higher lows, and it wants to break this neutral. If that VWAP can break that neutral, my voice doesn't crack, momentum could push forward, and our money flow could push into the bullish territory, hopefully giving us that bullish strength we would need to still see our break forward, so we are making one last chance. If we reject this EMA or the top of our channel, we may see the bears gain control still though, so I would exercise caution and still watch for that possibility. Over on the 2 hour, our side does want to push up, stochastic is trying to gain strength, our VWAP does have lower highs and it does want to break with consistent lows, so we do have a little bit more bearish favor here. That bearish favor could end up breaking us down. Our momentum is in the bearish territory. We do have a double green dot. That double green dot does want to push forward, but if that VWAP does break down, we will see our money flow pull back, and that will end up breaking price action lower with it. Over on the 1 hour, we are trying to kind of rise up, consolidate, rise up. So, sorry about that. So, watch for a pullback. If we can bounce off this kind of consolidation range around this 51,421, we could still continue forward. Stochastic does want to push up, RSI wants to push up, VWAP is trying to gain strength, momentum is gaining strength, and the money flow does want to break bullish. So if our VWAP can maintain this bullish trend, momentum will gain further strength, and our money flow could push those higher time frames forward, and we could gain some further strength here. Finally, over on ALGO for the daily, we do have a rejection of our resistance area. We did come up toward that area we mapped yesterday, and we are rejecting with that manipulation X. Stochastic does want to pull back. We do have that orange above blue, so that is a bearish cross that does want to push us down. Momentum is weakening. VWAP is favoring bearish, and the money flow does want to pull back as a result, so I would exercise caution. Over on the 4 hour here, our stochastic is breaking down, RSI is pushing down, VWAP is favoring bearish, and the momentum is breaking down. So overall, we don't look very positive, and we could continue to slide here. The money flow does want to break with that VWAP, so watch that VWAP close. If it does not create a new bullish trend, we likely will see momentum favor more bearish and pull that money flow down, weakening our chances to push forward and giving us that bearish trend. Over on the 2 hour here, our RSI is starting to pull back due to our stochastic favoring more bearish. VWAP does have weak highs, but we are also trying to get higher lows, so watch if we can get a higher high. If we can get a higher high, momentum could push forward. However, if we get another rejection, we're likely going to see another leg to the downside and weaken those higher time frames. Finally, for the 1 hour, RSI is trying to push up. Stochastic does want to make a bounce. Watch if that can hold and break through 30. If we can hold above that 30, we could continue to run up and gain some bullish strength. VWAP is pushing into the bearish territory overall, but we are trying to get a little bit of a bullish trend. If this bullish trend can continue, then that momentum could continue higher and money flow could reverse. So watch that VWAP very close, because if it breaks down, we will reject this EMA, then we could continue lower and push down toward our 1618. Remember, we do still have that area of support down here as a potential breakdown. Thank you for